Chair Gaddis, the last assessment is the early literacy screener. This was funded by the legislature at $320,000 a few years ago. It's given to students in grades K, 1, 2, and selected third graders. The selected third graders are based on less than proficient performance in the prior year. And this is really to assess literacy skills, phoneme awareness, letter, sound fluency, those types of things. This is required by regulation only. So it's not in state statute, but in state administrative code. If the funding weren't there, then we would not be able to implement that regulation, and the state board could certainly consider the removal of that regulation. We do think the assessment has value, but we also understand it costs $320,000. It is not a contract that the department holds because we grant the money to school districts and then they select any one of a number of different screeners that accomplish the task. So districts give the screener of their choice that accomplishes the task with grant money that we provide them.
So the same question following the same line. If the school chooses not to test, what happens?
If they choose not to test, Chair Gaddis, right now,
correct,
then we actually follow up and say it's required in state regulation, and we have them do it. We believe they'll all do it this year. If they don't assess, though, and I mean,
you know where I'm coming from.
Right.
So if they don't, then what?
If they don't, there isn't a violation of statute in any regard. There is a violation of a regulation. The intent behind this is to make sure we get good information about where kids are in terms of their literacy skills, really for instructional purposes. This assessment in particular was put in place less about any reporting and those kinds of things, but about putting data into the hands of schools and making sure we had a consistent way to look at early literacy across the state.
And I think that there are schools and principals that are already doing it. I think that there are some parents, certainly in my district, that didn't want their kids to test for a whole bunch of different reasons. And so I'm asking you, the question is, what happens if their kids don't test? Parent decides to keep their kid out, doesn't want their kid tested.
At this point, Chair Gaddis, what we do at this point in time is we ask the districts to test. They provide us the data when they have a low participation rate. We let them know that you had that, and we ask them to test all their students the next year.
Thank you. I've beat this one to death before. Representative Keller.
Yeah, do you know right off the top of your head, Les, what statute is the authorizing statute for that reg? I could look it up, but
through the chair, Representative Keller, there's not actually a statute that speaks to this, so this would fall under our general statutes for supervising K-12 education, which I don't have that citation right off the top of my head. But if the funding went away, the board would probably consider removing this regulation, but it would just fit under the department's general statute around supervising K-12 education statewide.